Hello everyone, Rosabel's here, and it's time for us to go back to our dramatic roots with our upcoming side story, Wrankwood Act or Die. As a usual disclaimer, this is information from the CN server and is subject to change. Starting with some quick info, you need to clear at least episode 110 in order to access the event. The event will run for 2 weeks, going live on November 13, 2025, with the story stages in the first week and the EX stages in the second week. Starting with our new operators, we will have 3 new operators with this event. The Welfare or the Free Unit is a 5-star named Miss Christine. Yes, we have moved on from cat girls to cat ladies. Our wonderful lady, and I'm not kidding, she is a lady, is a primal caster whose attacks deal arts damage and can inflict elemental damage as well. Her talent lets enemies in her attack range take up to 130% of attack as elemental damage when triggered with paralysis. Her first skill gives her up to 50% more attack. Her attacks target 2 enemies at a time, and attacks deal an additional 15% of her attack as nervous impairment. Her second skill makes her stop attacking, and she summons a sensory spirit, translation pending, to the target's location, and this deals up to 115% of her attack as arts damage per second to all nearby enemies. If the target is under the burst effect of nervous impairment, they are dealt an additional 115% attack as elemental damage. The other 2 units will be pullable in the Dithyram Unending Standard banner. The 5-star in the banner is Tippy, our first 5-star Sky Ranger specialist who can take off and block up to 2 enemies in the air. Her talent states that if she is not attacked for a certain number of seconds, she will dodge the next physical or arts attack. For her first skill, she will take off, her attack range expands, and she gains an additional of up to 100% attack. For her second skill, she will take off, her attack range expands, she dodges a physical or arts attack, and she gains up to 50% attack, and her attack becomes triple strikes. And of course, we have our newest 6-star, Phantom Alter aka Tragodia. Our dramatic boy has evolved from an executor specialist to a ritualist supporter whose attacks deal arts damage and can inflict elemental injury. For his first talent, his attacks inflict nervous impairment equal to up to 33% of attack and 20% to the enemies around the target with a radius of 1.3. As for his second talent, all enemies under nervous impairment burst have up to minus 16 attack speed, and if they attempt to attack, they will be hit with 70 nervous impairment damage. The nervous impairment will be inflicted before the enemy attacks, and the attack can be cancelled if it triggers a burst. His first skill is an offensive recovery auto skill where his next attack will deal 2 hits of up to 150% attack as arts damage and binds the target for 1.5 seconds. The target will receive up to 1.8 times nervous impairment damage. He will prioritize enemies not under elemental damage burst. His second skill gives him additional attack speed up to plus 35. The radius of his talent 1 splash damage is increased to 1.5, and he can deploy a Blood's Whisper summon, translation pending. It's basically a kitty. Freaking Blood Whisper. It's a kitty. A cute black kitty. And like what kitties do, they attract up to 4 enemies in a diamond range for 10 seconds, prioritizing elite and leader enemies. The first enemy to reach the summon will cause the kitty to retreat, inflicting slow, dealing up to 150% of Tragodia's attack as arts damage and up to 25% as nervous impairment every 0.5 seconds for 6 seconds. Typical kitty behavior. Note that Kitty can attract even airborne enemies, and you can manually cause the kitty to explode by retreating it early. Deadly Kitty! His third skill increases his attack range, gives him up to 125% attack, and he switches priority to enemies not in elemental burst. All enemies attacked by Tragodia will receive nervous impairment equivalent to 10% attack per second until the skill ends. Enemies will also have a 50% faster cooldown from elemental burst, and a Cage of Chaos, translation pending, will be summoned whenever there is a nervous impairment burst. The Cage of Chaos is an item that blocks all enemies on its position, and it will disappear if it is not blocking any enemies, or if it is attacked 3 times by the blocked target. Note that this is based on the number of hits and not damage. The block will last up to 30 seconds after Tragodia's skill ends. Note that this stacks with his second talent, and enemies that attack the Cage of Chaos will be subject to the additional nervous impairment damage. Phantom got power crept by 2 limited operators and came back with a vengeance. Ooh boy. All 3 new operators will receive 50% more trust during this event. Now let's talk about the stage mechanics. In this event, we must use the power of film to ease our way to victory. No joke, the main mechanic will be these film cameras. Operators facing the camera in any of the adjacent 4 tiles will light up a 3x3 square in the direction the operator is facing. This lit up area is called the filming area. In the filming area, enemies will be debuffed, that is to say, they will lose certain abilities. Think of it like the opposite of Nethersea Brand. Enemies will be buffed outside the filming area and will lose those buffs once inside the filming area. And of course, we can't just light these up because there will be obstacles in the form of lighting equipment, translation pending. These equipment will block filming areas so it doesn't hinder our enemies. You can get rid of them by attacking them, but they require 10 hits to be removed. Hits, okay? This is based on number of hits because, I don't know, lighting equipment cares not for damage apparently. The mechanic itself doesn't sound too bad since we can deploy our operators freely, though remembering to take advantage of the film area might be the challenge. Completing all stages and challenge modes will reward a total of 28 OP. The farmable items in the event are integrated devices, yes, polyester packs, and incandescent alloys. Completing stages will also reward players with mysterious black shadows, translation pending, though it's honestly not that mysterious. Cats! Cats everywhere! This is the event currency in order to buy things in the event shop. Notable items include Miss Christine potentials, the usual headhunting permits, furniture, resources, and materials, acid drops afternoon tea time skin if you missed it during the original CC, and the unlimited Loxic calls and manganese ore. Note for new players, I suggest you prioritize getting the Miss Christine potentials and the furniture first because when this event reruns next year, you can get yellow and purple certificates. Moving on to operator updates, operator records and/or paradox simulations will be available for Miss Christine, Narantuya, Viviana, and Weedy. Operator modules will be added for Shaper casters, which will have 2 different modules for the 2 Shaper casters we have. Techno will be getting the Y module, which will expand her attack range. Honestly pretty big, like wow. As for Eblana, she'll be getting the X module, which will improve her traits such that she does more damage to the enemies blocked by her summons. The module is also so adorable. Look at that, I want one. Leveling up the modules will also improve their talents. For example, Eblana at level 3 module will have an improved first talent, so whenever an enemy dies in her range, besides making a servant, she will also have a boosted attack of up to 25% for 10 seconds. Tragodia, as a ritualist, will be getting his class module on release. At level 1, he will deal 18% more elemental injury to elite and leader enemies. Leveling it up will improve his second talent, and at level 3, he will decrease enemies' attack speed by 20 and deal 90 nervous impairment damage to attacking enemies. A few operators will also be getting their second module. Mountain will be getting his X module, which at level 1 will give him a base of 15% physical dodge aside from his second talent, and at level 3 it will improve his second talent by increasing his defense and further increasing his physical dodge by up to 25%. And every time he dodges an attack, his next attack will frighten enemies for 3 seconds. Ascalon will be getting her Y module, which will increase her natural dodge in her trait to 65%. At level 3, it will improve her first talent with an added stipulation that if an enemy dies as a result of the damage over time, Ascalon will heal 10% of her HP. And Dorothy will be getting her X module, which will reduce the cost of her traps and increase the number of traps she can deploy to 8 and the number of traps she can store to 13. Leveling it up to level 3 will increase the number of traps deployed upon her deployment to 3, and every time you deploy a trap, there is a 50% chance for Dorothy to deploy another one for free. On to the store. In the yellow and blue certificate shop, Amia's fresh fastener skin and Brocca's Rest between set skins, every time I swear, will be available for purchase permanently if you missed it in the last CC or in the last event shop. Speaking of skins, we have 3 new skins with this event. This includes a live 2D skin for Ascalon, not the plagiarized one, a skin for Highmore, and Lucilia. There will also be a few rerun skins, which includes a skin for Zerny, Fartooth, Insider, Paprika, Shalem, and Saga. For those with spendable money, the supporter chip pack will be available for purchase if you were too lazy to farm the chips during Vector Breakthrough. So that's it for this video. I'm going to be streaming the event open when it comes out, and I'll be pulling for Tragodia, hoping he comes early. Subscribe to me and turn on notifications so you know when I'm going live. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!